morning. I hope you've had a great start to your day, and I'm grateful to have been able to come to one of my favorite quiet time spots. And I wanted to share a devotional with you and from this place so you could feel like hopefully you're here with me in this special place. So I've been reading about Jesus's miracles in my quiet times, and I love spending time around Easter really focusing on Jesus. So if you haven't had a chance to read Jesus's miracles recently, I'd encourage you. It's really been faith building, especially in this time. But the one I wanted to share with you today is from Matthew 14, and we're going to read verses 22 through 33. But I want to give you a little history. Right before this, John the Baptist, Jesus's cousin, has just been beheaded. He went straight into feeding 5,000, so he was so giving right away. And then he went and spent some special time in prayer. And I really love that he set such an amazing example for us that we can imitate, that in trials, we can still be serving, we can still be giving, and we need to spend special time in prayer, that he went away by himself and spent good time with God in prayer. So why don't we read Matthew 14? So immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink, crying out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." When they had crossed over, they landed at Gerasa. So when Peter stepped out of that boat, he had so much faith. I can't fathom walking on the water, but he stepped out. And then what happened? He got freaked out by the storm, right? He took his eyes off Jesus and put them on the storm. And I think we can do this in times like now as well. When a trial comes, we can take our focus off Jesus onto the trial, and it does nothing good, right? But I love that Jesus immediately reached out his hand to Peter. He didn't wait till Peter was drowning. He didn't go, "I hope you learn your lesson," but he was quick to reach out, grab Peter's hand, and pull him up. And that's the kind of God that we serve, that he's right there for us. He wasn't angry. He was really compassionate with Peter. Peter had faith in Jesus and he stepped out. That's imitatable, right? I want to be a woman that steps out in faith, even if it's a step. It's not like he was running out in faith, but he took step after step as he focused on Jesus. And that makes me feel like that's possible. And we can take steps now as well, right? We can choose to trust God. When we start to worry, we can pray. We can share food. Our neighbors were in need and we help meet some of their needs. There's going to be opportunities like that around us. That takes faith, and even sharing our faith. We've been able to share faith digitally. People are searching now, right? And so this is an opportunity to really point people to Jesus as well, help them have the peace that we can have because of our relationships with God. But if we waver in our faith, we just need to reach out to Jesus, spend time praying, really confess to God your worry, talk to him, be real, really share where your heart is at, and spend good time in his word. His word is full of fulfilled promises. It's full of miracles and people of great faith that can really encourage us. They set an amazing example for us. But I want to encourage you to draw near to God. He loves you and he has great plans for you, even in a time like this. So let's close out in a prayer. Father, thank you so much for your word, for Jesus' example that we can read and gain faith from. I'm so thankful that you are a God that is right there with us, that you want to be there when we have times of trials. And I pray that you would help us to all really turn to you and be strengthened by you and really grow in this time together, Father. Help us to know how to love and support one another, to really encourage one another and be there for each other. Pray this all in your Son's name. Amen. Well, take care. It's good to see you guys.